Hi, my name is Jennifer Campbell, and I'm here to talk to you about outdoor learning. I'm here to talk about what it is, why it's important for our children, and how we can help move it forward at Blanchard by investing in a master campus plan. So what is outdoor learning? Sometimes I think it's easiest to define outdoor learning by starting with what it is not. And outdoor learning is not just about science. You can incorporate art, music, physical education, math, all into outdoor learning. It's also not anti-technology. Simply put, outdoor learning is an organized activity that takes place in an outdoor environment. So why is it important for our children? Studies show time and again the positive benefits to our children, both physical and cognitive, from being outside, and this includes natural playscapes and outdoor classrooms. Being outside helps improve academic outcomes. It helps kids focus attention, regulate behavior, enhance their attitudes and engagement with the school. It helps support creativity, critical thinking, and problem solving. Being outside also helps increase physical activity, naturally, which in turn promotes physical wellness. Small things like, did you know that your eyes need the bright sunlight to develop correctly? Kids are now having record levels of nearsightedness, and they found that it's actually not because of screen time. It's actually because our children's eyes aren't being exposed to enough bright sunlight from being outside. On top of that, 1 in 12 kids have the core strength that we had as children in the 80s. 1 in 12. Being outside also naturally lends itself to decreasing depression and anxiety. It promotes emotional regulation and wellness. These are all things that we're currently working on at a district level and within the Blanchard community itself. Being outside naturally encourages children to work better together. Imagine that you're trying to build a large wooden teepee structure. One child has to decide who's going to pick up the bottom and another the top end. Then they have to decide which piece is going to go on the ground and which one's going to go up in the air. And as they build the teepee, they have to make a lot of decisions together, like where's the entrance going to be? Do we need to cover the teepee with any leaves? So, where is Blanchard today? Meaning, how successful is our outdoor program, and how well does our outdoor space facilitate outdoor learning? To determine that, we conducted a staff survey in February and had over 35 respondents. The goal of the survey was simple: to better understand the things that are working and are not working in our current outdoor curriculum and space. So how often does our staff want to use the outdoor space? Luckily for us, we don't need a culture change at Blanchard. 71% want to be outside at least 2 times a month. Break that down even further, 39% want to be outside with our kids weekly, 10% daily. But why isn't that happening? What's holding them back? Aside from time, which directly we don't really have much of an impact on, maybe indirectly, but not directly, we found 3 other major roadblocks. The first one was safety, so things like bugs, ticks, poison ivy. The second was volunteers needing extra hands, which makes sense. If you have a classroom and somebody is outside and wants to go to the bathroom, you need extra hands to help them get safely back in. They also want curriculum support, things like ideas, tools, and defined spaces. So, what are some things that we can do in the near future to help support our staff? Trail maintenance. We've already applied for a grant for a bridge to replace the one that connects the Hagerland to the school campus. Part of it is underwater a good portion of the year due to the lovely beaver activities. And so we've applied for a grant to replace that. If we get that grant, and if we can fund the replacing of that bridge, that will help in 2 ways. 1, it creates a safe passage to the land behind the school, and 2, it gives the teachers more time. Currently, they have to walk over the library bridge, access another trail, and then walk their way into the Hager land. If we can replace that bridge, we will be giving them more time by giving them a quicker access point to the Hager trails. We've also looked into widening the trails with the land stewards to decrease the possibility of ticks getting on our children's ankles. We've also looked at creating a shorter loop with the land stewards, again, indirectly saving teachers time. We've started to brainstorm possibilities and ways to connect volunteers to our staff. And we've also looked into staff training. So this is largely administration, but we've started conversations with the Nashua Watershed Association and also looked into possibilities of working with Mass Audubon to give guidance and training to our staff. But is that all we can do? If you look at the published research and existing successful outdoor programs, you'll find three major themes, meaning three things that end up turning a program successful to create those cognitive and those physical benefits that we talked about earlier. The first one is school support, which makes sense. You need to have administrative buy-in. You need to have a staff that actually want to take your kids outside, and you need to have the curriculum support that they'll need. And luckily for us, we have that. Community engagement, which we also have. We've already started having conversations with the Recreation Commission, with the Land Stewards Conservation Commission, Boy Scouts, and a large portion of the reason why these folks are so eager to talk about outdoor learning is because they also use that land. The third piece is the one that we are lacking, and it is the one that the Master Campus plans will fulfill, and that is design. So just like when you design a house, you need architectural plans, our campus needs a Master Campus plan. One that is research-based, one that is taking input and feedback from the community, from staff, administration, and the students. By creating a Master Campus plan, we allow ourselves to hear from all community members, not just people who are involved in one specific project, which is kind of what happens now. You're working on an individual project, maybe you're working on it with one teacher and one point person from administration, and you don't realize that you're, say, installing a garden on a place in campus that maybe another classroom uses for another activity that we're unaware about. By allowing ourselves to hear from all community members, we eliminate that risk of overlap. By creating a Master Campus plan, we generate the materials to apply for grants. So we're really fortunate that we have the Blanchard PTF to provide a lot of enrichment grants for a lot of the projects that we want to have happen on our campus. But if we can get that funding from somewhere else, why not, right? We also have to kind of put ourselves into a competitive position just in case, for some reason, the PTF ends up funding teacher aides, right? That's definitely not been said that it's going to be done, but it's a conversation that's been happening. And so we need to put ourselves in a competitive place to apply for external grants. And the best way to do that is to create a Master Campus plan, which will put us into a campaign fundraising mode. And that definitely makes us much more competitive to receive external funding. By creating a Master Campus plan, we also create a long-term plan that is achievable. So imagine like the Master Campus plan is like a puzzle, and it has 10 puzzle pieces. Each one represent a project. You put in the puzzle pieces one by one as you are financially able, and when you're all done, you get a nice, beautiful, comprehensive picture. Creating a Master Campus plan also gives us the Master Give Back list. So every year, Boy Scouts and the 6th grade Give Back Project all go to administration and they say, what do you need? What can we do for you? And administration struggles to come up with these meaningful projects. If we have a Master Campus plan, we're going to have a list. And that list will be, things that we actually need, things that in 10 years, a student volunteer might come back and we'll see still on our campus. Personally, I think that is a much more respectful way to use our volunteers' time than to just give them a random project just to fill their time. Give them a list of things that we actually need. Having a Master Campus plan will also help increase accessibility. So right now, our outdoor campus isn't completely accessible to everybody, and that is not fair. Creating a Master Campus plan will ensure that we create an outdoor space that is accessible to all of our current and future students. Creating a Master Campus plan also allows us to protect the existing habitats that surround us. We're very lucky to have wetlands on one side of our property. And if we create a Master Campus plan, we'll be able to evaluate things like stormwater management from a large-scale perspective and to make sure that we're not doing any damage to the wetlands that surround us. So Blanchard's outdoor campus, it's not awful. It's like any other school campus. Often in school construction projects, the outdoor spaces get overlooked, and unfortunately that lack of planning causes issues such as soil erosion, drainage issues like we see by the playground, parking and traffic issues, and a lack of street structures, all that we have on our own campus, and all problems that can be addressed by a master campus plan. The campus was also not built during a time when kids were limited to their outdoor time. Times have changed, and now we need to adapt. The outside campus can no longer just be for recess. It needs to be an extension of the classroom, and it needs to provide the teachers with all of the tools that they require to successfully teach our children outdoors. A master campus plan for the full perimeter of our campus has been quoted at $12,000. The recommended vendor is Lemon Brook, who is a vetted resource with local work such as the Discovery Museums and Wrigley Park in Concord. The timeline for completion is June of 2018. And I keep on hearing people say it's just a piece of paper, but in my mind, it is so much more than just a piece of paper. It would include the facilitating of the community conversations we need to have. It includes concept design and a master plan, which is where we would determine the real scope of the design and the projects to meet our current and our future needs. It includes illustrations for fundraising. Next, we would get schematic designs, the designs that we would need to get pricing from contractors. And if needed, we could get design development, which is where the design details get ironed out for really complicated projects. They'd also help us do any install work with contractors to make sure that what's going in matches the plans that we as a community have created. And I just want to leave you with this thought. The PTF that we have is uniquely positioned in our community to demonstrate a commitment to the future and success of our school in a way that will far outlive any of our personal tenures here. We have the ability as a community of parents to make intelligent, informed decisions about reinvesting fundraising dollars in ways that impact not just a single class or a single grade, but instead an entire generation of Blanchard students, staff, and community members. Thank you for your time.